So I chose to do my presentation on theta and ev, and my name is Alyssa Spencer. So first, both the theta and the ev have the same place and manner. The place of articulation in which they are produced is linguodental. This means that when you say both theta and ev, your tongue is between both your upper and lower teeth. Now, they can sometimes be produced by forming a constriction between the apex of the tongue and the posterior portion of the upper central incisors. This means that some people may produce these sounds by putting their tongue directly behind their top front teeth, which would be called dental, but they are normally produced as linguodental because most people produce these sounds by putting their tongue right in between their upper and lower teeth. Both the theta and the ev also have the same manner because they are both fricatives. Fricatives are produced by forming the breath stream through a constriction in the vocal tract. Although for ev, it is also produced by vibration of the vocal folds, which we will highlight on the next slide. Both sounds are formed by the constant flow of air through a constriction in the vocal tract. Fricatives are similar to stop consonants because they are both obstruents. This means that they are both being produced through an obstruction in the vocal tract. But fricatives, unlike stop consonants, are able to let out air despite the constriction. In this picture below, which I found from a website that is cited at the bottom, you can see the constant flow of air through the vocal tract when producing both theta and ev. Furthermore, you can see that the tongue is positioned between the upper and lower teeth, which demonstrates the linguodental place of articulation. Theta and ev differ in only one way, and that is their voicing. Theta is a voiceless consonant sound. If you practice by saying a word such as think and placing your hand on your neck while you say it, you will not feel any vibration when producing the th part of the word. That is because it would be transcribed using a theta, which means that it is produced without the vibrating vocal folds as the source. Therefore, the breath from the lungs is the only sound source. So when you placed your hand on your neck, you didn't feel any vibration because there weren't any vocal folds vibrating. On the other hand, ev is a voiced sound. Once again, you can prove this by saying a word such as them and placing your hand on your neck. When saying this word, you are able to feel the vibration of your vocal folds when producing the th part of the word, once again. The ev sound is therefore produced with two sound sources. The first sound source being the breath from the lungs, as we highlighted earlier, and the second source being the vibrating vocal folds. These vibrating vocal folds are what actually make the consonant sound a voiced sound, rather than a voiceless sound, like theta. To pull it all together, voiced fricatives are less intense and are perceived as being softer than voiceless fricatives, which you can demonstrate by repeating those same words and placing your hand in front of your mouth to feel the difference in airflow that comes out of your mouth when you say those words. There are not necessarily specific rules for transcription. Although it can be often difficult for people to determine how to transcribe these words containing either a theta or an ev, because the only spelling representation is by the digraph th. This can make it much more difficult for the transcriber if the transcriber is simply reading the word. Therefore, it is important to listen to how the words are produced to determine the difference between the two phonemes since they are spelled the same. I have put some examples from the book on this slide to determine how similar words might look, yet how different they actually sound. For example, look at the words thermal and though. They both look very similar because they start with th, yet when you listen to how they sound when they are produced, you can hear that thermal sounds like a th in theta, and though sounds like the in ev. Similarly, with sounds vastly different than wither, yet they both have some of the same spelling. That is why it is important for the transcriber to say the words out loud before transcribing them so that they can transcribe them correctly based on how they actually sound. Minimal pairs are words that vary by one phoneme. A minimal pair for theta and ev are three and the, or breath and breathe. Another minimal pair is teeth and teeth. Yet determining the difference between minimal pairs can be quite difficult for some people to do. Individuals with hearing loss often have difficulty perceiving fricatives in words. Furthermore, because these non-sibilant fricatives lack intensity, they may be especially hard for people to hear. This is why many hearing impaired individuals struggle to determine the difference between minimal pairs, such as teeth and teeth, because they both have low intensities in comparison to other sounds. So lastly, I have some questions. So I've highlighted 6 words that either have a theta or an ev in them. So for the first question, which 3 words would be transcribed with a theta? So the 3 words are thin, birthday, and math. Now, second question, which 3 words would be transcribed with an ev? Smooth, clothing, and there. Lastly, what is the difference between a stop consonant and a fricative? A stop consonant is produced by completely stopping the air, and fricatives are produced without complete constriction of the vocal tract. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you.